Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me, reviewing Love Island Australia season 6 episode 20. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Now, if you see that your comment is not showing up, it's probably because you were blocked. I went on a blocking spree today. Some of y'all really got your panties in a bunch over Dylan, and for two completely different reasons. It's so interesting. Y'all know I don't care if you guys disagree. I do care when you make personal jabs. The other people who have been blocked are people who have been saying that Dylan, Mercedes, and Steph are gay. So I don't know if you know something that I don't know, but these people haven't come on and told us that they are queer in any form or fashion. What we're not gonna do is assume people's sexual orientation in my comment section. So you people have been blocked as well. Just so you know if you wanted to comment something like that in the future. So Sophie tells Mimi that she's in the clear because she told Dylan everything that went on in Hotel Amour, except this one detail that in Sophie's mind is just a minor detail anyways.
Well, we had to drive by, but I didn't think I needed to tell him.
You need to tell him everything, babe.
Sophie was standing up. I need a pick.
Before the fire pit, I was going back and forth. I don't know.
It's all good. At least you're honest, but I hope you're honest.
I'm trying to be honest.
Yeah.
When we kissed the second time, we had like a little touch.
I feel like I'm getting more pissed off as the minutes go. I just don't know if I believe Sophie and what she's saying to me.
I never want to be finessed by Zane Prophet ever again.
Sophie, girl, if it really was a minor detail, it would mean nothing to tell him. You didn't tell him because it's not a minor detail, sis. Okay? And for somebody who loves to blab, she really kept her lips tight about that when I said, this is the time to talk, Sophie. Luckily, Dylan obviously was annoyed by hearing more information, but he's just taking it on the chin. He's like, whatever, as long as you prove to be the person who you're claiming to be, then fine, it is what it is. Do I believe him when he says that? No. And that gets exposed later in the truth bike. I think he's just, well, number one, you have to save face. Like, what are you supposed to do? You can't really act how you would in the real world because you're in close quarters and cameras are rolling. Okay? You typically don't say the things that you would say on the outside when you're on a TV show. But yeah, I don't think he wants to be as gracious with Sophie as he's being, but he realizes that he just has to be. Now, Dylan did say actions speak louder than words, and not too long ago, Sophie told him, I could be crazy. And he was like, well, how crazy can you get? I want to see it. Careful now. Careful. I literally wrote down, I'm intrigued to see where that goes. I take it back. Because later that night, she was like, oh, I have something to give you. And it sounds like she either gave him a handy or head. But then another couple also got jiggy with it too in the beds. And I'm like, oh, Lord. Oh, okay. This, all right. Taylor is wondering why there's a divide between the women mainly, but the villa as a whole. There's some tension going on. This is something that has been brewing from day 2.
The girls are just like cold. I just don't understand.
No, it's not the
It's just
girls,
them.
babe. It's
I just don't want.
I'm an outcast. I'm
No,
proper excluded.
you and I are. Bro, what was the fucking like hour-long notebook speech?
Crazy.
I'm a
No,
hater.
that was
I'm not interested. I'm sorry. So how long were they romantic for? Like half a day.
Yeah.
Something with Hannah is just off for me.
Yep.
Is it ingenuine?
To me, Hannah's speech was hilarious because I'm like, Hannah, girl, what? How long did it take you to write this? Or who wrote this for you? Okay, apparently Taylor is the best thing since sliced bread, according to Hannah. And honestly, if he is, girl, I love that for you. But no, I don't know what kind of trans Taylor has put Hannah on, but she's in the trenches over this man. Anyways, the girls are obviously side-eyeing Hannah and their whole connection because they've felt a way about Hannah the whole season. Hannah has also felt a way about the girls the whole season. But because Hannah's not in the same position she was a few weeks ago where, you know, the majority of the girls had her back and it was the other girls who were kind of on the outside, she's now feeling like, oh my gosh, what's with the tension? Girl. I do think that it's a slippery slope with Sophie and Mimi. I I think it's dumb to pick sides because everybody has a part to play, honestly. Again, it's a slippery slope. What could be venting could easily turn into bitching, could easily turn into bullying. So catch yourself. Don't let yourself slide down a hill you don't want to slide down. Sophie tells Kayla what happened between her and Zane in the Hotel Amour. One of you guys commented and said that it's a glorified hideaway. That is so accurate. It really is. Yeah, now I'm not as excited for the twist as I thought I would. It really is a glorified hideaway. Anyways, yeah, Kayla took it quite well. Obviously, she's hurt because she had a really strong connection with Zane. But at the end of the day, she would rather know now than later when her feelings are much more intense for him. It's Zane who's actually having a hard time with everything that's going on.
I wish I could be that person for them, but I just can't. Man, this is like the shittest feeling.
Bro, it's not the first time you understand about your feeling. You understand about your feeling. Like the first time he was with Zenzi, it's bullshit.
Zane handled things very badly. He acted like a child.
It's not the first time you are in this type of situation. Because you hurt people, bro.
I don't know if it's advice or maybe a dig. He thought I was doing it on purpose, which I wasn't.
I've been saying that Zane is a problem, and I don't understand how he comes off as endearing. It takes too much mental power for me to even think about Zane because he thinks it's too much mental power to think. Like, I don't get Zane. I don't understand. What is his purpose of being here? Like, what? Go away. Just go away. Anyways, he has a conversation with Steph, and Steph is kind of telling him, like, the way that you're acting is not right. And he feels like Steph was chastising him, and that's not fair. I kind of agree with Steph in the fact that, like, it's a pattern of behavior at this point. And although Zane doesn't feel like he's doing it deliberately, hurt people. And you continue to hurt people. And at some point, you've got to take responsibility. He's grown enough to know better. He's not 16. Okay? He might have been hurt when he was 16, but you're a big man. You know better. He can tell when something is not feeling right to him, but there's like a disconnect between like the feeling and then actually acting on whatever those feelings are. There's just a disconnect with Zane. Zane, I think he needs to sit on the bench. He needs to put himself in timeout until he figures his situation. I think alternatively, if he found somebody who genuinely wanted to be detached, then do that, maybe. But I don't know if you're going to find that on Love Island. And I also don't know how beneficial that is on the outside because that just makes you even more detached, you know? I think that Zane could benefit from a conversation with the Eggman because the Eggman had the introspection for himself that, I'm actually not in a space to be vulnerable and this requires vulnerability, so I'm going to remove myself. I think Zane needs to do the same thing. Zane confides in Taylor about the conversation he just had with Steph, basically saying, I don't like the way that he just made me feel just now. And this is a great opportunity for Taylor because he's been trying to expose Steph. Well, not been trying, but he's been thinking about exposing Steph and how he treated Chrissy when she was around. He doesn't want to say it tonight, but he plans on saying it the next day. He first tells the guys instead of going to either Steph or Mimi to talk about it. And this is where the drama starts.
It was kind of weird to me that they were trying to jump to Mimi instead of at least asking Steph what happened.
That's what they were going to go tell Mimi. So you should go grab Mimi and then talk to her about that.
It's not the truth. So before someone tell you that, I prefer to tell you that in front of you. If I wanted to try something with her, I will.
I know. Taylor's just trying to stir
Say
shit.
some
What the
other
fuck
shit.
is the point of bringing it
That's
up
what I'm
now?
saying.
Chrissy's gone.
I like
Well,
transparency.
yeah, I was obviously planning on speaking on both of you, but I wanted to talk to you first. And she felt like you were like speaking
I
about
like
her.
clear eyes. It's
Yeah.
different.
I am so upset that this is happening after Chrissy left because she's not even around to corroborate the story. She can't plead her case. So it's against Steph, who was in the situation, and Taylor, who's only hearing about the situation. Now, I'm thinking back to that time that they were actually in the pool. If Taylor was just paying attention, maybe he actually would have seen something so he could have more validity in relaying this story. But the fact of the matter is the person who was involved isn't here to clear things up. So Steph is getting away with it. He tells Mimi and Mimi is like, oh my gosh, why is Taylor trying to start drama? Now, Taylor doesn't have a good rap. He already looks like somebody who is disingenuous. So if you watch the episode, you know why I'm saying that. So it's easy to believe Steph over Taylor, but Taylor's actually telling the truth. So Steph confronts Taylor. He's like, listen, that's not how we handle things as men. Like, that's not it. I didn't even do what you're saying. And it seems like the majority of people believe Steph. Now, what I need the Love Island Australia producers to do, movie night. I need it quickly. I wish Mimi didn't immediately believe everything that Steph was saying. I wish that she took a second to allow for some of it to be true. Because how is somebody going to fabricate an entire lie and have none of it be true whatsoever? I don't. That's not how I operate. If somebody is telling me something, I'm going to take it as a grain of salt, and I'm going to try to get other perspectives to see who's telling me the truth, who's telling me a lie, whatever. Because she has a haze when it comes to Steph, she just took his word as bond, and I'm like, Mimi, I need you to be a little bit more investigative. Investigative? Oh Lord, I'm sounding like Mimi. Hannah and Kayla are still irritated that there's this tension in the villa, mainly between the women. So they're initially talking to Mia about it, like, yeah, I think we're gonna have a conversation. Mimi said, my name is Bennett, and I ain't in it, okay? She is Switzerland. She said, don't include me. She sat out of every conversation that involved the girls addressing the drama. But Kayla and Hannah go up to the dressing room, and they try to pull up the girls on the tension, and it didn't end well.
I feel like every single time I try to make an effort with these girls, I get shut down.
We're feeling a bit like left out.
Oh. Everything's okay, and I'm coming down now. I want to talk to Dylan anyway. Okay. I want to go learn the song.
I've found it hard the last couple of weeks, like, trying to keep the peace with everybody. I don't think in the real world, like, we would be friends.
We wouldn't be friends with you on the outside. It's like we literally live in Bondi.
Oh my days. That's crazy.
You hungry?
Kayla has actually been on the receiving end of some exclusionary behavior. Now, granted, given the time that it happened, I can understand why things were handled that way. I'm referring to Hannah telling Chrissy and Kayla if, like, they could leave the dressing room so that Xanthi could just, like, pack in peace. Like, I get that. I get that in context, but also you've seen exclusionary behavior before, Kayla, so why are you surprised that there's tension between the girls? Like, I don't know. That one confused me a little bit. Hannah, on multiple occasions, has made it very clear that she don't F with Mimi, with M, definitely doesn't F with M. Now, Sophie has chosen her side. She used to F with Sophie, but Sophie was the one spilling all her tea. So yeah, Hannah, I think it's rich. I think it's rich for you to want to be friends with girls who you did not care about when you had your girls in the villa. You would talk about, oh, girl, code, all this kind of stuff. But when you could have been nicer to those women, you weren't. And now that they're kind of repaying the favor, you're upset about it. And I don't even think that these girls are being as exclusionary as Hannah was when her friends were around. They were more clear about it. Absolutely. In my opinion, I think that it's Hannah's guilty conscience that's eating at her. She knows that the Taylor situation is unsavory for a lot of people in the villa. So yeah, maybe she wants to not feel guilty about how it all happened. She didn't say this. This is me assuming. I don't know. Some of the guys are like, oh, we're now seeing M's true character and stuff like that. I can see how they came to that conclusion. It's interesting because at the beginning of the season, some of the girls were like, oh, M identifies with the men a lot and we don't like that. But now even the men are like, nah, we don't really like M like that. We don't really like M like that. There's a lot going on in this villa, but I'm okay with it. Like, personally, I'm okay with tension. I don't like when people are mean, but I'm okay with the honesty of, like, I wouldn't vibe with you in the real world. We're not friends in this villa. We're not going to be friends on the outside because that's just life. It's not everyday kumbaya. It's not everyday, oh my gosh, besties, I love you. Like, no, that's not life. Like, let's be so for real. So I like that there's an honesty in this villa where it's like, yeah, I really don't fool with homegirl. I don't. Yeah, because same. The truth bite comes out, and as always, it makes people be brutally honest for some reason. Like, there's no lie detector actually tied to these people, but something about being on that bike makes people want to be very honest. So we're going to go through a lot of stuff. I didn't even write down everything, but it's still a long list of things. Steph says that he does and doesn't flirt with new girls. It's just his personality. He's just a flirty guy. You do flirt with the women. If you have a flirty personality, you are then flirting with the girls. I don't know. He then is like, oh, I think they misinterpret my personality, and they think I'm flirting, but really I'm just being me. I'm just being nice. And then Taylor poses a question, do you think that you hide behind being French? And he's like, oh, so disrespectful. I think even Mimi said that's a low blow. It's literally, he leans into being French a lot. And he just said, this is my personality. That's a valid question. But anyways, Mimi says that she thinks Kayla and Hannah could be her friends on the outside. Hannah didn't like that. She feels like that's two-faced of her to say, especially because of the conversation that they just had. In Mimi's defense, it's M who said that she wouldn't rock with those girls on the outside. But Mimi, you are being duplicitous because you wouldn't be friends with these girls on the outside. You just said you don't like chameleons. And I think it was in last week's batch of episodes, she doesn't like how Hannah kind of totes herself around the men and whatever. But now you'd be their friends. Okay, interesting. Maybe she just meant Kayla. I don't know. Kayla thought that Zane was her person, but at this point, she wants a man, not a boy. Yikes. Zane says he did more than kiss Sophie, but definitely didn't have sex with Sophie. And what was interesting to me was Sophie's answer. She whispered to herself and said, good answer. And I said, oh, what you mean good answer? Is it the truth, yes or no? If you ask me, it sounded more than just kiss up and rub up and fill up, in the words of Beyonce. I don't know. I don't know, but they're sticking to their story, so fine. Dylan says that on the outside, he would ghost Sophie. I agree. And that's why I'm questioning why he's being so gracious. Like, I don't know, something about, I even said it yesterday. The fact that he was like, don't treat me like a fool because I'll do you twice worse. Something with Dylan. I don't know. I'm watching you, Dylan. I'm watching you. Sophie says that Zane led her on in and out of the villa. I can't say that I agree with that because Zane has given her enough for her to know he's not serious about her. He just wants to have a good time. If it's not an emphatic yes, baby, it's a no. Now, that's not to take away from Zane. Zane absolutely needs to be more honest. He needs to be more clear. I think it takes him a little while to get to his emotions. But even still, like, he knows he's not serious about these women, but then doesn't say it until it's a little bit too late, until their feelings are involved. But I can't fully say he led Sophie on. That's just not what I think. Yeah, I think she should take a little bit of ownership for her decision making when it comes to Zane. Sophie can't answer if she would have coupled up with Zane at the fire pit. I think she said possibly. It's a yes. It's a yes. If Zane made it clear that he wanted to be with you over Kayla, you would have said yes. I'm glad Zane is choosing neither one. But yeah, if he would have chosen Sophie, she would have been all for it. Whew, next. There's a lot, man. Nico says his feelings would have been different for Mia if Hannah was still in the equation when Mia came in. Good answer. I think that that's the truth. He does, however, say he would immediately leave if Mia ever got dumped. Also a good answer. Ooh, Lord. Hannah claims that she wasn't waiting for Taylor to be open. I don't agree with that. The way that it looks, it's like she was waiting for her opportunity. That's just what it's giving. Now, Nico was trying to be judge, jury, and executioner for Hannah. He just had question after question after question. And this started to raise some alarm bells for Mia, as it should. Why does he care so much still when he claims to be so into Mia? So I'm glad that she clocked it. Like, hold on. You're asking her a lot of questions with some passion too. So what's that about? We'll see if that turns into something. It probably will. Then we have Mercedes, who admits that he and M had sex the night prior. So they are among, I think, the two couples who were making noises in the night. M did not like that. She says that he owed her... what did they say? He owed her and not the bike or not the other islanders. So they agreed to not say anything. And him saying something is going against their agreement. She literally picked herself up and scooched away from him. That's how upset she was with him. I said, ooh, not a good look. But keep in mind, M said, you don't have to be super honest on the truth bike, right? When M gets on the bike, she says, basically Mercedes is a 1 minute man and he didn't even climax. She also says that Taylor enjoys being the center of attention. He's lapping up all the attention that he was getting from the women. There were some other things too, but she was just so passionate. She was like, we're here to tell the truth. Let's tell the truth. It is what it is. Hannah said it was giving road rage. A little bit. I do appreciate her being honest, but you just chewed out Mercedes about the way he handled the truth bike, and I don't think she was handling it any better, to be honest. So yeah, that was interesting. Taylor was on the bike. What did he say? Taylor admits that he handled things with Steph poorly, but he does not regret how he treated M during their demise. I don't think he regrets that either. Yeah, I don't. I also don't think that he regrets how he handled the Steph situation. I think he regrets getting caught. Absolutely. But I think if he didn't get caught, he would have handled it the exact same way if he could do it all over again. So yeah, the truth bike always brings drama, and it's so interesting how that bike just compels people to be brutally honest. We gotta break that down on the psychological level. At the end, we get a teaser for 2 new bombshells. I think the guy's name was Garcia. I'm not quite sure, but the girl's name is Jade.
I'm 25 years old. I'm a PT and boxing coach. So I look like Liam Hemsworth and Travis Kelce had a baby, and then boom. If I have to step on some toes, then I will.
I'm 21, I live in Brisbane, and I'm a beauty manager. All I can say is I may not want your man, but your man may want me. Boys like the light eyes, dark hair combo. Works every time.
Wow. Jade, stunning. Garcia? He was not lying when he said he's a mix of Travis Kelce and somebody else. All I heard was Travis Kelce. And I mean the Travis Kelce when he was with Kayla Nicole, not when he was with Taylor Swift. Because, yeah, it's definitely, yeah. He's cute. He's a cutie. If I'm to pair these bombshells with anybody... Oh, Kayla! I even forgot about Kayla, Good on her. She actually has an opportunity now. Yeah, I think Kayla has to be interested. You gotta give it a try, girl. Who else is in there? I don't think Mia's turning. I don't think Mimi's turning. I don't think Taylor can't turn. I mean, not Taylor, sorry. Hannah can't turn at this point. Who else is in there? M, no. Sophie, no. Sophie can't either. The guys who'd be interested in Jade, Mercedes, he might have to now if he's in the doghouse when it comes to M. We'll see. Dylan might. We'll see. I'm intrigued to see if Dylan will entertain it, or is he going to stick with Sophie? And then obviously Zane has to give it a try because he doesn't have any options. So yeah, 2 new bombshells. I'm excited. They look like a good time, so we'll see how that goes with them. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.